Hey everyone, welcome to the Kenco Fishing Show. Today's episode we're going to be talking about how to hand pour soft plastics. This episode is going to be specific to hand pouring, not injecting. So if you're thinking about injecting soft plastics, that will be in one of our other videos. So for today we're going to go ahead, we'll get started, I'll talk you way through it. I'm going to show you what to use, how to use it, and we're actually going to walk you right through the process from start to finish. So we will go ahead and I will bring the camera in and start checking out the stuff. All right guys, so here we've got the basic stuff that you're gonna need to be able to hand pour soft plastic baits. So we got just a cake spatula, simple device, metal, should be used metal or another glass substance to stir your plastisol. Here we have some plastisol in a Pyrex cup. You'll need a good heat resistant cup. Pyrex is a good brand for that. There are some other lower cost options, but you can use that or the other, doesn't matter. You'll need some colorant. This here is from Lure Works. It is a Florida grape. That's the color we're going to do today just for amusement purposes. You're going to need some flake. This here is also from Lure Works. This is a moss green 0.015. And you're going to need some hand pour molds. So we got a couple here, small little 4-inch baits. These are from Stank-X Bait Company. Really nice little silicone molds. This here is a little larger mold, and this is from Fusion X Fishing. Now, there's other molds out on the market. There's stone molds, there's plaster of Paris molds. There's all kinds of different ones, but these are the easiest basic ones you can buy online, fairly inexpensively. So that's what we're going to go with today. We're going to go with a basic silicone. I think these are $20 or so a piece, something like that. And so that's what we're going to use. So with that in mind, we're going to go over the safety equipment real quick. You need some hot mill gloves or some sort of very heat resistant glove. I use the hot mill gloves. They're fairly inexpensive, and a lot of guys in this that make soft plastics at home use these. You're also going to need a respirator, and I don't have that right in front of me because on the video you wouldn't be able to hear me if I'm wearing it. So, but I do wear it when I'm out here by myself and working. And you need an organic vapor respirator, and there's all kinds of options for that at your local hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever you have. So that's the basics. Plastisol in a cup, color, glitter, something to stir with, metal or glass, hot mill gloves, molds, and respirator. The other thing you'll need is a microwave that is not used for food. So you can pick that up at your basic, again, Home Depot, Lowe's, you know, or you might even be able to get lucky, find one at like a yard sale for 20 bucks or something. So you'll need one of those. And again, I have that on the other wall. So we're going to get turned around. We're going to start warming this up, and I'm going to take you through start to finish on heating and all that so you can see the whole process through. So let's go ahead. We'll turn around. We'll get over to the microwave, and then we'll get going. All right, guys. So here we are. We got our work surface, microwave. Some other things that you may want to get while you're doing this is some little measuring spoons. Nothing too expensive, nothing too fancy. Worm oil. This just helps lubricate your baits. And some heat stabilizer. If you're going to be remelting this a lot, which sometimes you will, this is a good thing to have. Alright, so let's get all of our stuff over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to pop the plastisol in the microwave here for about, we're going to give it 1 minute. Now we're going to go real small, slow increments so I can show you a process. And while we're doing it, we're also going to have a little coffee. So I gotta put my air hood on real quick. So I know what you're thinking, like, why are we dragging this out? So we're gonna take our time to get through the whole process so you can see each little step along the way, because there's a lot of questions on some of the forums that I'm on about the little things, because a lot of guys will skip over that stuff. So we don't want to do that. We want to take you through the whole process, start to finish, and it takes a few minutes. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so we've been 1 minute in the microwave, and you can see we still are milky white. We're going to give it a little stir. I use a vacuum chamber, but it's not necessary. So I'm going to pop this in the vacuum chamber real quick. And the reason I do that is to get all the micro bubbles out. Now, because my Plastisol has been out here in my shop for a while, it sometimes can get some humidity in it and it causes bubbling. So we're gonna pop it in the degasser or the vacuum chamber. And that takes about a minute, nothing too long. It's only just a short amount of time. All right. So now we've gotten all the little micro bubbles out of that. I'm going to turn the fan down just a little bit. All right. So coming out of the vacuum chamber, you can't really see much of a difference here, but there is. Put it back in. We're going to give it another 30 seconds, and then we're going to add our colorant. Now you can add the colorant before or after heating. I tend to do it before. I think personally, I just like it better. Another handy thing to have in your shop, but not a necessity, is a box of shop rags or just some old cloths to help clean things up. And I also like to have some of these little plastic gloves so your hands don't get all covered in color and stuff. But these are not a necessity, it's just a nicety. So for this one, we're gonna give it a little stir. I'm going to shake that up real good. I already shook it before we started the video, so. And we're not going to get too crazy on counting the drops, but typically how people do this is they count the drops. We're just going to put some in there to get some color in it. That looks good. Looks like we'll have a nice purpley color here. Alright, so we're going to put that back in. We'll give it a minute and we'll take it out, and I'll show you. We should be, in 1 minute, we should have started the transition to plastic. Now all your plastic baits start as that milky white liquid. I'm going to go ahead and open this. And I hope you guys will subscribe to the channel, give us some feedback on the videos, keep us entertained. That was from last night's video. We had a Beer and Baits live Q&A. So, like I said, we're going to go start to finish, so we're not going to cut the video up too much. All right. So now you can see we've gone from that milky white substance to a more clear plastic liquid substance. And we're going to stir it up. And you can see now we're pretty much at the point where we could go ahead and pour it. So you have to make that transition from milky white to hot and clear. And you may want to, for the first couple times that you do it, add your color after so you can see that transition a little better. I'm going to give it a little moss green. And then we're going to, I put my flake in after. You can put it in before, it doesn't matter. I'm going gonna stir it up. And don't whip it when you're stirring, don't whip it. Just give it a nice even stir. All right, so we're gonna put a little light on here so we can see a little bit better what's going on. And to hand pour these baits, now I'm not left-handed, and the cup isn't that hot yet, so I don't have my gloves on. But what we're gonna do is all you're gonna do is you're just gonna pour it into those cavities. Just like such. Try and be as accurate as you can. If you go outside, it's not the end of the world though. You can always trim them up after. And then in between your pours, you want to give it a little stir just to get your flake suspended again. Okay. Now then we're going to do the big one here. So this one's a little bit, not trickier, it's actually easier because of its size, but it takes a lot of plastic. So we're going to fill it from the front, working our way back. We're just going to hit the tail. Like I said, this doesn't have to be 100% accurate. The better you can get it, you know, that helps, but it's not critical. I'll just make sure you got it as full as it needs to be. And there, that's pretty much it. I mean, that is hand pouring soft plastic baits. It's not that difficult. Now these are going to take a little while to set up. This big one takes quite a while to set up, so we're not going to sit on the video and watch that happen. But I will show you in just a few minutes what these small ones will look like. Let me just angle us down a tiny bit more. All right. So, and that's the process. It's pretty straightforward. Now, this is still going to be hot for a little bit. But what you do is you can go ahead and pop it back in the microwave here for 15, 20 seconds at a time to get it back up to temp so you can pour it. But aside from that, you should be pretty close to where you need to be. Alright, so that one there looks like it's about ready. So then you just peel them out. And you can see here we have a nice little drop shot minnow. And you can see that there's little edges, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we got some little over pours on the sides. And we're just going to trim those off. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Let me grab my scissors. Now normally I would wait until that's cooled down. But in this case, for illustration purposes, we're just going to go ahead and get that little tiny bit and just trim it off like that. And you can see it's right on the scissors there. And then just trim your bait up. Now these ones have eye sockets, so you can put some stick-on eyes in them, but you don't have to. So we're going to go ahead here and take these out. And run another, we'll show you how to do another shot real quick. So I'm going to pop this back in the microwave here for, we'll give it 15 seconds just to get it good. Because what'll happen is as that cools down, its viscosity will thicken up and it won't pour as nicely. So it's got to stay fairly hot in order to get a nice good pour. We'll give it a little mixing. Again, not vigorously, just very gently mix it up. Yep, you see how badly I did there. Just gotta slow down.